My goodness, it's not even close. It's not even close comparing chest supported rows to barbell rows. Not even close, man. I think the lesson here is if something is easier, it's probably not as beneficial. I think that's a take home message here, man. Barbell rows yesterday. I did 5 sets of 10 with 110 kilos underhand. Whole lot of body English required. And as a result, lower back, mid back, gone. Absolutely spent. Hamstrings, I feel them. Glutes, I feel them. From bloody barbell rows. I've not done barbell rows like this probably now for a good year. I came out of that December period where I hit the 285 deadlift and had the deload, came out of the deload. I think I did it for 1 week or 2 weeks or something like that during the January stretch. And then I quickly realized that my adductors were screwed. I pulled the groin with the wide stance squats or something. I don't know what I did there. And basically that was the start of my year. And I didn't go back to the, quote unquote, deadlift prep, which this is part of the barbell row. Barbell rows are something different, man. So I think, I've done a really, really hard experiment. I can compare the two really easily. The chest supported rows has a really good, back saving component to it. So if you're doing something where you're spending your lower back currency into something else, fantastic. But it doesn't really train. Nothing really gets close to barbell rows, man. My lower back is spent. And because of that, this impacts squatting, this impacts everything, benching, everything. So barbell rows, man, for many, many years, I've had this love-hate relationship with it until I fully, realized the extent of this freaking lift. This needs to be part of the top 3 lifts, SBD. It should be SBDR. The row is up there, man. I am such a believer in barbell rows, man. That whole period last year for the deadlifts, 285, it's the rows, man. And if you were to pick it apart, what's going on there? My gut feeling is it's not so much the rowing. It's the fact that you're in that bent over position and you are catching a weight in that compromised position. And it's kind of bouncing. And that bounce is coming from your lower back. And then you're accelerating that bar up to your chest or your lower abdomen. And then again, down. And you don't hit the ground. No. You don't do a pendulum row. No, you catch it in free air. And then you jerk it back up again, like with body English, right? So that catching and throwing does something to the lower back, does something to everything in the lower body. It prepares you from a perspective of pulling the deadlift. Like you're more powerful in that bent over position. I think that translates really, really well to the deadlift. And so me not having this lift in the training program for such a long time probably explains why the deadlift didn't feel as sharp as it should have been while I was really squatting and feeling really, really strong in the squat. But having that said, if I did the barbell rows, I'd probably not be able to squat that much because the currency would just be spent. It would be split between the two. But if I'm really serious about, extending my week into a 10-day or a 14-day, cycle training program, then I could see, the deadlift week with the rows and then the squat week without the rows or something to that effect. I'm entering a new, I wish I could have freaking stayed exactly the same, but it seems like I can't. What I said to you guys before, I worked it all out, man. I found the thing. And then, when you're squatting 215, it's a bit different to squatting 235. It's, the stress on the body is quite a lot different. And so, you can use the same kind of ideas, but you have to kind of stretch them out and allow more recovery. And I'm sure the guy that squats 340 kilos has a completely different approach to things as well. Maybe that guy squats once a month, like really, really heavy. I don't know. Or maybe he's got different supplements in his kitchen. I don't know. But this is something that I'm kind of really kind of thinking of what to do. Something crossed my mind as well. I thought to myself, why don't I just forget about squats for a while and just finish the year just chasing the deadlift like I did last year. The one component that I don't have is the leg press. The leg press I also thought was a big part of the deadlift push because it really teaches the legs exactly the same position. I'm not going to the gym now. Should I? Maybe once a week, probably should go to the gym somewhere and do the leg press if I was really aiming to hit a PR. That 290, maybe even a little bit higher on the deadlift. Right now I hit 250 yesterday, and man, 285 is a long way away. I need number of weeks, if not months, to prep that lower back and everything, into a deadlift pattern. But as always, man, I always feel like it's one or the other. You can't push for 240 squat and also 290 bloody deadlift. Maybe if I got really lucky and I got everything just right, really, I'm thinking just need more recovery. Even the deadlift period, I was working on a 7-day split. Combining the two, maybe it's possible. I mean, today the adductors feel pretty good. Maybe the slightest, sensation. I mean, day 8 is tomorrow from the last freaking leg day. So 8 days is going to be tomorrow. Bloody hell, man. Do I do it tomorrow or not? My gut feeling is no. Let's push it to 9 or 10 days. I don't know how that's going to work, to be honest with you. The work, and it's not just my work, but it's also the kids and the wife and how we're going to work all that out. Some days she comes from work, I go to work, so when she's at work, I need to pick the kids up and drop them off and all that stuff, the school runs, so some days I don't have the opportunity to have a big session, mentally or physically. I just don't have the time. I need to go to a night shift. How does that work? All that stuff. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just fit it in when I can. I'm not going to be so, crazy about, is it 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 days? Just I'll try and fit it in the next time I can. And by the time I come around to it, I'm probably going to feel really good. You know what I mean? I just have to make sure that this fatigue from the rows doesn't impact the squats. You see what I mean? It's a bit of a juggling act, but I'll work it out. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.